Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It is a beautiful day here in sunny, cooler Southern California. But it is a beautiful day. Hey, Shelby, welcome. Shelby is number one today. And Frankie, you are number two. Welcome. And to everyone listening over on any other platform that we are streaming on, welcome. Thank you for popping in. It's awful here. I'm assuming you're talking about the weather. Yes. Hey, Minnesota, welcome. Is it raining, snow, sleet, hail? What's it doing where you are? We had some rain last week where it was pouring down for 3 days. We could use some more of that. Well, it looks like it could snow. Yeah, the snow melts into water, and that's something that this state needs is water. But you know what? When you wake up, every day is a good day. Okay, so I am going to stop this here. All right, so today, going along to get along, which was supposed to be yesterday's topic, but due to technical difficulties, we were not able to do yesterday's show, but we are doing it today. So, going along to get along, a lot of people do that to satisfy other people. It's mostly to satisfy other people. It's not to satisfy yourself. My opinion. Again, all of this is always my opinion. I don't think people go along to get along to satisfy themselves. It's usually to satisfy someone else. You know, just like when you were in high school, you had those friends who were like, "Hey, why don't you just, come and do this, or girl, you should come, or or do, come on, hey Juju, welcome, shy lady." So you have those people who want you to come along, and a lot of times it's for them. A lot of times they don't want to be the ones by themselves. You're in a meeting, you're the only one who stands up and says something. Everyone else just sits there, but if something comes out of what you said, they're reaping the benefits, whatever. I was that type of person in grade school, but then as when I got into the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I stopped being that person. Someone tells me, choose the hill that you're going to die on. Unless it's for my child, and I sincerely mean this, unless it's life or death situation for my child, I will never, ever go along to get along, ever. Because I have found, at least for me, that when you go along to get along, you end up being by yourself anyway. People will go back and say, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Oh, well, you know, maybe you should have. Or if you're doing something that you're not supposed to, and if you're the one that gets caught, um, your friends are not going to back you up because they don't want to get in trouble either, especially, if you're in high school, even college, whatever, when you're young, your kids, I mean, your friends are not going to back you up, so going along to get along, um, is just something that I think that, people people do to satisfy others. And that's when the other part of my thing is, are you happy? When you go along to get along, are you happy? When you do something you really don't want to do, are you happy? And that brings me to choices. Everyone has choices. We may not like the choices that we have. The choices that we have may absolutely suck, but everyone has choices. If your mom tells you, you can't watch TV until you do the dishes, you have a choice. You either do the dishes or you don't watch TV. You can't go to that party until you cut the grass. You have a choice. Either cut the grass or don't go to that party. So when you go along to get along, is this something that you really want to do? There have been a lot of times where I've been asked to go places. Oh, come on, why don't you go? I don't want to go. Well, if you don't go, you're just going to be sitting here by yourself. You're going to be doing this, to this. First of all, I never have to worry about sitting by myself because I can occupy myself with many, many things. And I have no problem with being the only one left at home, the only one, or even if I do go someplace and no one else is going, I'm the only one there. I have no problem doing that. You have people who are uncomfortable just going to a restaurant and sitting in a restaurant, uh, having a meal by themselves. And years ago, I attended this workshop where they were talking about, doing things independently. And one of the things that they talked about was sitting in a restaurant eating by yourself. And there were like maybe, I think, 20 people in that workshop. And more than half said that they could never go into a restaurant and eat by themselves because they would feel uncomfortable. Well, what do you feel uncomfortable for? Some people think that people would stare at them because they're eating by themselves. They would be self-conscious. I have gone into a restaurant so many times where I have had a meal by myself. I'm not thinking about what other people are doing. I'm not looking at them. I'm concentrating on my food, or I'm people watching, not staring at anybody, but the people who, watching whatever. If I'm sitting by a window, I'm looking out the window. I mean, there are just a lot of things, um, uh, that people should not feel uncomfortable with. So again, that goes to going along to get along. Are you going along just to keep the peace? Are you going along because, you don't want to be by yourself? Are you, going along and raising your hand because you look around, they say, well, how many people think that we should do this? And you look around and, you're one of the only ones who didn't raise their hand. So you raise your hand to be part of the crowd. So welcome, Linda. So, so that's where I say, are you happy? Do you go along just to get along? You know, um, I don't know. So that's my little spiel. If anybody wants to push back, say, Solid, you're wrong, or whatever it is you want to tell me, excuse me, you are more than welcome. Let's see. Nobody? Nobody? Okay. Well, then I will keep going. You know, another thing about that workshop that I was in, it talked about it was meant for women, but there were some men there too, and it was basically about being an independent woman. Um, and I actually like the term that Kimberly Michael uses because she says self sufficient, and I like the word self sufficient or the term self sufficient better than independent. Um, are you able to stand alone by yourself and do things on your own without having to rely on someone? Um, so when you go along, are you going along again because you don't want to be, or you can't, or you don't know how to be self sufficient, or if you want to use the term independent, um, because you're scared? Um, I mean, because there are so many things that we have to do on our own. There are so many things that, hey, crazy lady, welcome. There are so many things that um, we have to do on our own. So, again, when you go along to get along, are you happy? Because I'm not going to go along with someone just to make them happy. I don't care who it is. Um, you know, even for my son, as much as y'all know how much I love my son, but there have been times when it's like, nope, not going. You got to do it by yourself. Especially when children are younger and you want them to branch out and you want them to learn how to do things. And I tell my son that I say, you know what, now that you're on your own, don't just go along to get along. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that you should. Hey, shorty, welcome. And you know, my son was the person who, and I noticed this before he was homeschooled. When he was like in first or second grade, some kids would say, "Hey, so and so, let's go do this," and I would look at him, knowing doggone well that he did not want to go, and he's going. I would call him. I said, "Do you want to go?" No. Well, then don't go. Tell him no. Or can I have some of this, or can I have some of that? See, I was always the parent who, when they were at school, how they have kids could buy a Valentine for someone, or parents could buy Valentines for their kids, and then uh, they would pass them out, like right before school got out or something. Well, I was that parent who always made sure that no matter what it was, my son got something. If it was something they were doing something for Christmas and they were passing stuff out, I was that parent always made sure my child. And that, and I'm like, well, didn't you get? He goes, well, so and so wanted this, and so I said, don't you not tell him no? Well, I didn't want to give it to him. I said, you need to start saying no. And it took him a while, but he started saying no. I said, some people have a hard time doing that. I said, but if you continue to do that, you continue to go along to get along, especially when you're young, to me, you're going to be that, I hate to use this word, that pushover when you get older. And at times you just need to put your foot down and just say no. And I know that some people are in situations where it's really, really hard and you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. But are you happy with that decision? Are you happy with the decision that you made? Shy lady, welcome.
Hey,
Hello.
um,
I had to mute you for a minute there.
yeah, I was driving and I was having some struggles with the phone. I was trying to get it, but for whatever reason, it was blocking me. But anyway, Always glad to be a part of the show. When you were talking about your son, I was thinking about my oldest son. Even though he's 25, I still have, and he's, obviously a good and grown man. I just have issues sometimes with his reasonings. When he do things like with friends, it's like he's like a people pleaser, and he doesn't say, he doesn't want to say no. Like, he has a really, really good friend who recently got married, and um, this guy was going back and forth about he didn't know if he wanted a big wedding, a small wedding, all this crap, and he decided one day at the last minute that he was going to get married. Just decided on this weekend. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do it. And so he decided this um, at the last minute. And so my son had already made plans, and he had to drop his plans, went and spent $200 and some dollars on a tux, knowing that he had other plans. And I was like, I'm sorry, but if he didn't have the courtesy or the decency to, let you know beforehand, you shouldn't do it. He was feeling all guilty, but he's like one of my best friends. We were roommates in college, and I really feel obligated. And I was just like, that's so inconsiderate, though. And then he had to, on top of that, he had to drive 2 hours to the wedding. I just, you can't tell grown people what to do and what not to do, but I'm sorry, I wouldn't have done it. But, my son, unfortunately, he's a people pleaser. And so if one of his friends called at the last minute and say, "Hey, let's do this," even though he may be tired, he'll go along and do it. And I just have problems with that with people. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
No, and shy. I'm sorry, I'm about to say shy lady, crazy lady. She agrees with you, shy lady, and and so do I, because how many women and hearing you say that your son spent $200 on a tux, that kind of surprised me, because I was always under the impression that men rented their tuxedos. But whether you're renting or whatever, you're buying, you're renting, whatever, you're still spending money. So that brings me to ladies, where um, let's talk about the weddings. Okay. It was a rental. Dang, $200 for a rental. Let's talk about weddings. Let's talk about those weddings that you're asked to be in and you don't want to be in. You don't want to be in those weddings at all. And I've been in 2 weddings. After the first wedding, I said I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to be in another wedding. And I said, when I get married, I'm not going to have a lot of bridesmaids. And if I do, I will let them pick their own dresses. I want them to have a dress that they're going to be able to wear, which I did do. My color was purple, and I told them my color, and they went out and bought very tasteful dresses, and they were appreciative of the fact that they could wear them over. So the second wedding I was in was with my best friend. Best friend I have known since I was in first grade. She was in kindergarten. And after the first wedding, my best friend, she was like, I can't believe her mother did this. I can't believe her mother did this. I mean, the mother was just, oh my God. The mother was bright, or Motherzilla, whatever you want to call it. The bride she wasn't really a bridezilla, but she was getting there. So I say, I'm not gonna be another wedding. And my best friend was like, I don't see how you did it. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. So when my best friend got married, it was right before I moved out to California. And she asked me, and I said, I really don't want to be in your wedding. Now, I wasn't the maid of honor. Her sister was the maid of honor. I was just gonna be a bridesmaid, and she was getting married in December, right before Christmas. So I was like, I just not want to be. And the dress she chose, I swear, guys, to this day, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this show, you know how I felt. The dress was like something you would make have curtains made out of. Not curtains that you would probably buy now, but the kind that your grandmother had. And So my mother was like, "You all been best friends for so long. You need to go ahead and do it. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that." I said, it's not really the money, even though it was kind of because it was expensive. I had just moved out to California. I had just spent all this money moving, furniture. I was just not in the financial situation to go to this wedding. So my dad calls me. He's like, you really should be in this wedding. She's done this for you, blah, 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 blah. I went on, I was in the wedding. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, this wedding, the the bridal shower was in November. And her mother called me and she says, "You're not coming to the bridal shower?" I said, "Well, I can't afford to do both. I can't fly home in November and then turn around and fly home Christmas." I said, "It's easier for me just to come home Christmas. That way, I'm having Christmas with my family. I'll get there earlier, go to the wedding, whatever." I mean, it was all in all, it was a horrible wedding. It wasn't a horrible wedding. It was a horrible experience for me and for other girls. All the girls that she had were out of town. There was just issues with everything, and her mother. Anyway, having said that, this long story, drawn out story. Going along to get along. Are you happy? No. And after the wedding, when I got back home, I was telling my mother and father because they saw a lot of the things that were going on. And then 2 years later, my father says, "Yeah, well, maybe you never should have been that wedding." I'm like, "Seriously, Daddy? Really? Seriously?" So again, are you happy when do you tell people, Moshir, welcome back. Do you tell people, Crazy Lady says, "Thank you, Blue, for taking one for the team." Oh, Crazy Lady. And I still have that dress. It is balled up in my garage in a box. And every time I'm moving stuff around in the garage, I see that dress and I literally just shake my head. Because I was not, I even asked for the receipt so I can take the thing back, and they wouldn't let me take it back. But you know, at what point do you tell people that you don't want to do something? When your family wants you to do something, they're like, "Oh, come on, do this, do this, do this." I mean, at what point do you put your foot down? At what point is it where, okay, I don't care if you, the grandma was doing this, or your aunt is coming. Yeah, I mean, yes, there are things that the obligations that you have to do, but still, it's still going along to get along. I don't want someone around me who is going along to get along, and then they're upset or unhappy or in a pissed off mood the entire time. I prefer you just to stay home. So, Moshir, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Welcome
So,
back.
I just joined your show, and I heard you were asking question about where you will when you will talk to your family about when they disturb you about something. That's what I understand. Like if they ask you consistently about to do something and you are not doing that things. That's what I understand. Correct?
No,
Or
if they're asking you to do something and you don't want to do it.
yes. So it depends on the situation. If I am seeing that I will delay to do that things, I will delay it and I will do it later on. So it depends on the situation. And I don't like someone to force me to do something I don't like to do.
Okay. All right. And that's that's what I'm saying. It's like, then does it get down to force, especially if it's with family? Does it then come down to force? Linda, welcome. And Linda's not here anymore. Okay. Crazy Lady, welcome.
When you talk about the choice thing, there's like get along to get along, situations in families where it's like, well, okay, with the boys, it's like I told Jack, I was like, you know what, Jack? I said, it's bullshit that, you let, excuse my language, that you let outside influence, I don't, and I went and I told him, I told his wife, I says, I don't care if, you hate Brother Bob, but you will sit down at that Thanksgiving table, you know, because, it just, and we're as a unit, because, you guys just have to, because you're family. You have to make nice for, it's going to kill you for one afternoon.
Well, okay, but crazy lady, okay, let me ask this. Let's talk about family and the family dinner. Okay, so Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas is coming up,
Mm-hmm.
Holidays around the world are coming up, and people are getting together. If you know that your child or
Mm-hmm.
your husband, your wife, whomever, does not like Aunt Sue or Uncle Joe, and it's to the point where every year you're like you just said, you're going to sit down and you're going to eat whatever, and they're sitting there and they're not happy, which means more than likely they're not going to enjoy their food, and you see them doing this year after year. At what
I will
point do
bribe
you?
them. I will bribe them. I will do whatever it needs, just, it's like,
I mean, no, no. I mean,
I don't
no.
know.
You are bribing. Let's say you do bribe them. Like I said, this is every year you are doing this, and every year they do what you want them to do, but they're not happy, and they're usually the first ones up from the table, whatever. At what point do you back off?
Whenever the reason, like the old person, that the reason why we have to be there as a collective group is dead, then it's like, okay, you know what? We don't have to be there anymore, so we're good.
Okay, so
I don't know.
then technically, then you're not back. You're not backing off. You're just waiting until the other person dies or they
Yep,
don't show up or
pretty
something.
much.
Okay, all right,
Pretty much.
all
I
right.
just, I say that because, because usually it is, evolving like around like a mom or a dad or something, and it's, you know, oh, come on, guys, you guys got to get along, because this might be their last time, you know, and you're going to, deny, it's just like, I don't know.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna move on over to Miss Shelby. Shelby, welcome.
Hello, folks.
Hello, hello.
Okay, we all know Rhonda or Shelby has problems with her family. In my
Yeah.
situation, my mother-in-law is the best woman on this earth, in my opinion. And the problems I have is with her son's wife. So in my situation, I respect this woman enough to do what she asks. She knows I don't like it. She knows that I just, I would like to go up to that woman and pull her hair out by the roots, but, I think it's more of a respect issue for the older generation from the younger generation than it is for an obligation or for a oh goodness, now I lost my train of thought. But more for respect, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about that respect for a moment.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so the person that you said that you would want to pull their hair out by the roots, do they like you? Shelby?
Repeat that. I'm sorry.
I said the person that you can pull their hair out by the roots, do they like you?
No. Mm-mm.
All right. So now I guess then in my opinion, if someone that you're, that you're trying to be nice with because they're family and they don't like you, do I necessarily have to show up? Or do I necessarily have to play nice? If you're going to drag me, to that birthday party, do I have to stand at the table and when they're singing happy birthday?
I can definitely tell you, you had mentioned something about an Uncle Joe. Well, we do have an uncle that is coming in town for Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure we are all going to get together and go out to eat. Because they're not going to come to where we live to eat Thanksgiving. So, I'm pretty sure how this is going to go. The clique of the family is going to sit all together. We, as in my husband and my children, are outcasts of the family. So I know for a fact we will be sitting on the outside. And I don't mean outside, but like on the outside, at a different table.
So this is what I'm saying. So if you get to a family situation and everybody is in their cliques, this is where I say I'm just going to stay home because if we're going to, well, I don't want to sit with them. Well, okay, well they're going to be over there, or we're going to put them next to the kiddie table or whatever. I mean, I just don't understand why even show up.
Out of respect for him, because we only see him once every 4 or 5 years.
Okay, but I don't know. I mean, I understand what you guys are saying out of respect, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because family can drive you up the wall. Family, I mean,
Yes, they can. You're right.
Family is very, very difficult. So when you're going along to get along, and that word family pops in, sometimes it's just really, really hard. And there have been times when I have been like, nope, I'm not going, and nope, I'm not going, nope, I'm not going. And when I was younger, I mean, my mother and we would battle it out. I'm like, nope, nope, I don't like them. Nope, 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 nope. They don't like me. Blah 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 blah. It doesn't make sense for me to go. And then my mother would make me go, and she would do the you're gonna go and you're gonna sit there, whatever, until my father had to intervene after this happened like 3 or 4 times. He was like, she is pissed off. She's not happy. She's sitting there with an attitude, which I did the entire time. She's making it worse for being here, even though I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I was just pissed, whatever. Until my mother was like, okay, fine, you don't have to go. And I didn't go. And I was a lot happier. And my mother even said that they had a better time because I wasn't there. So that's when I say, if I am around someone, and I understand what you're saying about the respect thing, but if you all are all coming to a dinner with me out of respect for me, and if someone there doesn't want to be there and they're sitting there with an attitude or whatever, I prefer y'all to just let that person stay home, because that person will put a pall over the rest of the evening, if that makes sense. So Shelby, is that making sense or whatever?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Crazy Lady says, I am a gang of one. And Charlotte says, I can see Shelby's viewpoint. And then Charlotte says, unfortunately, when you get married, you have to accept the good with the bad. Charlotte, and again, I understand what you're saying, but I have to disagree. You don't have to. You do not have to. Then Charlotte says, there are in-laws who I didn't care to be around in their house, but suffer through it for the sake of it. So, okay, let me go over to Linda, because I still see Linda up here. Linda, are you up here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Because your little bubble is like moving like you're up here.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
If you are and you want to talk, can you go out and come back in, because I
Yeah,
am
okay.
not. Wait, hold on. Let me. No,
I can
Did
hear. Can you not hear, Silent?
I don't hear. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. I
I
see
Oh,
it.
it's a
hear.
bit
She.
funny, the mate.
I don't hear
Can
anything.
you
So
hear me
Linda, can
now?
you drop off and
Right,
come
I'll
back
do
in, because
that
I am
then.
not hearing
Yeah,
anything.
okay. All right. I'll
I
cancel.
see your, like I said, I see your little bubble is moving as though you're here, but I hear nothing. So I'm going to go to Shy Lady. Shy Lady?
Hey, yeah. No, I
So did you want to
yeah,
add something?
I just wanted to add that I remember when my daughter was like a toddler and my husband wanted to take her over his sisters, and I was not about to stay home because I didn't like the environment where she lived. I didn't like her cleanliness. She had cats and all that stuff, and I didn't want my child to be scratched or sitting in cat pee or whatever. So I went anyway. So I thank you. So I went to protect my child. That's why I went, because my husband was insisting on, we got to go. I want to go over there so she can see the baby. Blah blah blah. And I was so uncomfortable with, like, do I go? I'm like, no, I have to.
Now,
I have to. I have to.
for something like that, Shy Lady, I understand. If it's something where the environment, whatever, and then I would go. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Linda, do you want to? I sent you an invite. Do you want to try to pop back on? Let me send you another one if you want to pop back on. We'll wait a minute for you to pop on. And this is I was having issues. That's why I had to cancel the show yesterday. I was having some technical difficulties. I know they just did another update. Okay, Linda, are you
Yeah,
here?
can you hear
Okay.
me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Can
Yes,
you hear
now I can
me?
hear you. Welcome.
I'm
Welcome.
going to say, I think the thing you have to, because I was brought up where I had a very strong-minded mother who did actually really nearly convince me that I was incapable of doing things to the point I did got. So now I think you've got to question your mind really and what you're going to do when, if you're going to regret what you're going to do and if it's going to affect your mind later on and wish you hadn't done it, then you have to say no. I couldn't face me even my parents' funeral because of what had happened with my family, so I just didn't go. Now, people would have thought probably I was absolutely awful, but I couldn't face it, so I didn't go to either of them.
Okay. All right. And Linda,
So you know what I mean? Because I couldn't face it. Your mind is the thing you've got to take care of more than anything.
you are right, Linda. And that brings up a point. I have gotten to the point, as I get older, that you see people, they may not go to a funeral, they may not show up to a wedding. Um, you don't know why. So if someone doesn't show up to a parent's um, funeral, they don't show up. Who are we to say, oh my God, they didn't show up to? So, I mean, who are we to say? Because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Um, and even if you did, it's none of your business. So Linda, let me ask, when you did not go, did you tell other people you were not going, or did you just not go?
No, I only told my brothers that I wasn't going because of what my mum had done to me earlier. She near enough forced me to give up my child, if you want to know the real distance of it. And I never really forgave. I tolerated her, but I never forgave what she did to me. And I could never face that funeral because of that.
Okay, all right. You didn't have to share that, but thank you.
It's
What
you know, like I say, but that's what I mean about you've got to live your life, and at the end of the day, if you're going to regret these things, you've just got to say no and stand by what you feel is best for your mind and peace of mind and what you've got to live with, because it's very difficult if you can't live with it.
And Linda, I agree with you 100%. So, and Charlie, I'm gonna come to you next. Is I don't think Moshir is up here anymore. Um, I Linda makes a good point
Oh,
because
I am there.
Moshir. Okay, see, my panel is going crazy. My panel is just going crazy. Everything's like blinking. So I'm going to ask Moshir this, and then I'm going to ask Crazy Lady. So, Linda, do you mind muting
No,
yourself?
I'm all right now. I'll
Okay,
just
all right.
warm my coffee up.
Okay. Okay, so Linda makes a good point because at what point, when you go along to get along, does it affect you mentally? And to what Crazy Lady said when she says, well, I mean, even what my mom, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, we've all done it. You're going to sit here, you're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. Does it matter? I mean, should your emotions play a part, or your mental wellness, your mental being play a part in you not doing something just because your husband wants you to do it, your father wants you to do it, your mother, whatever? So, Moshir?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
with
so
you.
you want to comment, or?
But if you can just repeat the question, I didn't hear it very well.
I was just saying, at what point does emotions and your mental well-being take take precedence over what your family wants you to do?
As I said to you before, it depends on the situation, and that doesn't mean if I didn't do it, that will upset my father or my mother or my family. Uh, it depends on the situation. If that will hurt me and hurt my family, I will not do it. And even if I know, you know, they don't know that these things will hurt our family, but I know, then I'm not going to take risk and
Well, I'm not talking about
listen to
hurting your.
them.
I'm not talking about hurting your family. Like Linda said, she didn't attend her mom's funeral because of things that her mom did to her when she was younger. So I'm talking about
No.
if something affects you personally,
Oh,
would you not
okay,
do
okay,
something? Yeah.
okay, okay. No, no, no. I don't take in. I mean, I don't save the hatred in my heart against someone. It's just if I if I'm upset with someone, it's just for a moment or for a period of time. But that doesn't mean that I don't go to the funeral or these things. No, these things is a it's something that guy is already gone. So why I don't go to his funeral, even if he did many bad things to me. Uh,
Okay.
at the
All right.
at the end, he is one of my family, and that is let's say religious connotation. Has nothing to do with hatred.
Okay. All right, Crazy Lady. I am going to come to you, but I just want Linda to respond to what Moshir said.
My mum, I didn't go to my dad's funeral either. I just, I couldn't be a hypocrite and go, oh yeah, my mum's still, she's been so good to me and listening to all the good things that I know what they say at funerals, oh, how wonderful here and that. When all I could think of, well, why didn't she accept my granddaughter? Why did she? Well, she accepted all my brothers. but not mine. And, I'm sorry. And I just lost my boyfriend. I'd lost my partner at the same time, a few hours. So I've been through a bereavement. And I was just as upset, or actually more upset, and crying over my partner than actually my parents. Because I hadn't seen, I sort of distanced myself because they still treated me in a certain way.
Okay. All right. Crazy lady.
I just, because like I didn't go to my brother's funeral. I didn't go to his memorial and everything. And my dad never forgave me for that. I mean, yeah, he was right. I mean, I kind of lost it when Tony died. And yeah, I was off getting high, and I couldn't deal with going to the funeral. Couldn't do it. And, when my dad passed away in 2016, I was off drugs, and everything was going fine. And, I was late to his funeral. Because I literally got off work at like 8 o'clock in the morning and I had to drive all the way like over 100 miles to where dad lived. And Scott, and he told me this, later afterwards. He goes, when it started and you weren't there, he goes, I just knew you were off getting high. And he goes, and he showed up late. He goes, it took me a minute. He goes, but and I, it's like a part of me didn't want to go to that, but I don't know. I just,
But
it does affect the person, like if you don't go because, whatever or something,
but
or when you're
crazy
made to
lady.
go to something.
Okay, but see, this is my problem, because again, Linda brought up a good point when you talk about the emotional part of it, and your frame of mind. Yes, people may get upset if you don't show up, or if you do show up to something. Um, your parents may not like it if you don't want to go, or whatever. Um, but at what point does your mental well-being take over? At what point does your mental well-being um, take precedence over something that's going to occur for like 2 or 3 hours? And you can say, oh, if it's 2 or 3 hours, then you can just sit there. But for some people who are really struggling emotionally, those 2 or 3 hours could be a lifetime. And then after everyone's gone home and moving on with their lives, you could still be struggling with the fact that you were there. So crazy lady.
Um, I don't know. I, as bad as it sounds, I really wish I didn't have to go to my son's funeral, but I had to. I was made to. Um, I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess, you know?
Okay. All right. All right. Shelby, thank you for waiting patiently.
Yes.
You want to pop in and add anything, or?
It does affect you mentally. And I'm a true testament of that. I mean, it does affect you mentally, no matter the situation, no matter who you try to please, no matter because I can detest the fact that this lady will say hi to everybody else in the room and won't say a word to me. So mentally, that upsets me. Um, just the fact of being near her upsets me. I mean, it's. I don't want to say it's in hate for her, it's more of a, I guess it's more of a disappointment in her, because we used to be real close. I mean, we hung out every weekend. We would take vacations together, and then all of a sudden, I mean, like, one weekend we hung out, the next weekend nothing. And I would call her, and you know she wouldn't answer the phone. I would leave her Facebook messages, she wouldn't respond. So I mean, that it affects you mentally when you've been that close to somebody and then they don't want to have anything to do with you.
So that's where I go to my "are you happy" part. That when you're going along to get along, are you happy? And here it is, every time you're around this person, it is affecting you on an emotional level. Is it worth it? So I understand when you say, well, you're doing it, for your husband, or you're doing it for your children, whatever, but in the end, is it worth it? Because for me, if I knew that my husband struggled every time we were around some member of my family or doing something that he didn't want to do, I would tell him, if you want to stay home, it's cool. I can go by myself, because nothing's really going to change. The person who's behaving the way they're still going to do the same thing. I would rather you stay home and be good and be happy than coming along with me and you're miserable. So that's when I say, at what point does the person who you're doing it for, or the person who is making you do it or pushing you to do something, at what point do they step back and just say, you know what, it's cool. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to go, you don't have to.
Well,
Shelby?
I can tell you of a situation. We recently, I wouldn't say recently, a couple of years ago, we have several acres of land, and my husband sold some timber off his part. Well, he did give them some money off of the earnings. Well, before all that happened, um, he they wanted to get together, all of us together, or so I thought. Well, I told my mother-in-law, I said, I'm not going to this. I don't want to have anything to do with this. This is between your son and you. My name's not on the deed. I just didn't want to have anything to do with that. And she respected my decision. But then to come to find out, um, they only wanted the three children and the mother to get together. They didn't want spouses, any part of it, which was fine by me. Like I said, it didn't hurt my feelings one bit because I wasn't going to go at all anyway. But there has been times that my husband and I got into arguments that, I told him, I said, I'm not going up there this weekend because I don't want to be anywhere near her. I don't want to be around her. She makes me upset. My blood pressure goes up. I don't want to be around her. It's just that simple. Well, fine, I'll go by myself. It just causes so much strife, or it caused so much strife between my husband and I, that I would just, I'd go anyway, just because I did not want strife between my husband and I. But to say that, it would come to find out that she wouldn't even be coming anyway. So, it would give me anxiety to go, but then once we got there, they wouldn't even be coming that weekend anyway. So, I mean, sometimes blessings come in disguise, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I'm reading what Crazy Lady says. That's why Ross stayed home, because he knew my ex would say something, and boom, Ross is in jail for assault. Um, you know, oh, and Frankie, thank you for joining my fan club. I don't know. family again is difficult. When you have to deal with family, it is difficult. When you have to deal with friends, it is difficult. It's much easier to say no to a stranger for some people than it is, to say no to your friends or your family. Hey, Caps, welcome. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I just can't. Hold on, Caps. I miss you there. At the end of the day, I just literally cannot. Um, I cannot go along to get along, and I understand people are trying to keep the peace within the family. You don't want to get into an argument with someone, but you know, I don't know. Shy lady, I'm coming back to you.
Oh,
And the Caps, I will come to you after I go to Shy Lady. Shy Lady?
Oh, I didn't have anything. I was just listening. But it's unfortunate that,
Okay.
some people feel obligated. Um, but I get it, like with Shelby, I do get it with family, just to keep the peace. You sometimes you have to do those things,
oh,
unfortunately.
dude, you're so right.
So Caps, I'm just gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna come back to you. I can honestly say, guys, I am happy that I am married to a man where we don't do this. I mean, if I don't want to go someplace, if he says, I'm going so and so place, and and my family, whatever, if I say I'm not going to go, or I'm not going, or if I'm going someplace and I ask him, well, would you like to go? I would like for you to go here, whatever. If he doesn't want to go, it's like, oh, okay, drive safe. I mean, because the drama is just not worth it. The drama is just not worth it. And if you don't want to go, you don't want to go. So I don't know. So Caps, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Sorry to just jump in, but I hope everyone's having a lovely Tuesday. Yeah, you know what? Looking at your title, Solid, going along to get along. Wow, I think we all do that. I think we learn as we go along to get along as well, to be God's honest truth with you. And like what I mean by that is that even when we grow up, we learn how our mum and dad are with each other. If you are luckily enough to have a mum and dad in the family, or even whoever brought you up. And what gets me more than anything really is that you either learn or you don't learn, and then you pass it on. But me personally, like, I seen that, and I didn't want to get along with certain people in my family. But as time went on, and I just had to. And, it was. And then when you get older, do you do that? Well, in a relationship, if I didn't strive through my relationship, having bad times and good times, and trying to make it better with the children that I have, sometimes you can say that you're living in a lie, but when you actually look, you're not. Sometimes it depends on the person that's next to you, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you learn, sometimes you don't. And yeah, that's it. Sometimes you think that you're going along with it, but really it's teaching you right. But it all depends on the situation. So I'm going to shut up, but that's kind of. Can you understand where I'm coming from a little?
I totally understand where you're coming from, Caps. I totally understand 100%. Moshir, thank you for waiting patiently. Did you want to add anything before we wrap this up?
No, thank you very much. I'm listening to all of you.
Okay. All right. Crazy lady, I'm looking at some of your comments here. Did you want to add something?
Oh no, I just yeah, I did to my kids too. It's just life is never fair nor kind. So soldier up, suck it up, but you will act civil, be polite and cordial to whomever while you're going about it. This is Catherine.
Okay. So how many of you um have actually, as an adult, have actually push back on, I don't want to do this, or I'm going to do this. Bye, Shy Lady. Have a good day. How many of you guys, as an adult, you guys push back? Shelby?
We all know I don't. I will with you, but I don't.
Oh,
I am very I don't know what the word for it is.
would you say you're
I'm a
a
doormat.
passive?
I am
You're
a
a
doormat.
doormat, or are you passive? And
I
because
am
I
a
don't think they're
doormat.
necessarily the same thing. Okay, so you're a doormat. So I can only say this one way. So
I'd
can I just
say,
say,
sorry,
wait,
I'm the
wait,
doormat. That's what I'd say.
wait,
Like, men are the doormat in my eyes with women. Women do
Caps,
everything.
hold on. Wait, hold on. You have to know Shelby's story. So Shelby, I'm just gonna come out and I'm just gonna ask you this just from stuff that you have talked about on the show before. So when you say you're a doormat, is it because you don't know how to not be a doormat? You don't know how to tell people no? You're trying to please everyone? Or you don't want the drama? I mean, why do you allow yourself to be in that position?
One, I'm a people pleaser, and two, I don't like conflict.
But can't you be a people pleaser and not have conflict without being a doormat?
Does that mean, that you're acceptable? It's
Caps,
acceptable for
caps,
you to get
caps,
bullied? That's
caps,
nasty.
caps. Hold on,
Sorry,
caps. Let me
I'm
stop
so sorry.
interrupting. Stop interrupting. Shelby, so can't you be a people pleaser and still not allow yourself to be a doormat?
No, because even when I was growing up, I was like that. And every time I would people please, it would end up in an argument anyway.
So I guess what I'm saying is, then don't you think then you should change your attitude to where people are like, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. If you start pushing back, if you start telling people no. So I guess that's what I'm asking you. Do you have a hard time telling people no?
I don't understand what tell them no for what?
If you don't agree with
It's not
something,
like people
but
are
you
asking
follow,
me.
But if you so when you say you're a doormat, and I did not mean to turn this into a therapy session.
Sorry.
no, it's
That's
lovely.
okay.
Can I
So
speak?
Shelby,
I'd
so
love to give a synopsis of what you're saying. I really would.
wait, Caps. Hold on. Okay, I will come to you, Caps. Hold on. Shelby, why do you say you're a doormat? So when you use that term, what do you mean? So we can understand what you mean.
I let people run over me.
And so when you say that, that's what I'm saying. So you don't know how to tell people no.
I guess, yes.
Okay, Caps. What do you want to add?
I was just about to write it, but you accept it. And what I'm trying to say is I'm so sorry to butt in. It's because I can't. Sometimes I'm really passionate, and I really don't mean to disrespect you. So I do firstly say I do apologise. Sorry, I do apologise. And the second thing is, it's like you've accepted it your whole life. And when I'm not saying, grow a pair of, like kind of stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but what you should do is go against the grain sometimes if you feel the need, and even in small doses. And you'll learn that people will respect you because of it. And when you do that, because it shows that you want that your way. And if you don't if you are always a follower, you'll never ever lead in anything. So I really, really, I beg to you really that change that kind of feeling that I am the doormat. You're not the doormat. You're a lovely person, but definitely have a little bit of ground. Have a bit of ground under your feet. Know your worth. That's all I'm going to say.
Shelby, I'm actually agreeing with Caps.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, no, I mean, because he makes a good point, because if people always see you like that, then they tend not to respect you. So that's my next question. Do you feel like people respect you?
I guess that's the why I get treated the way I get treated by certain people. But you know,
So
I
if you
really
start
don't
pushing,
have. I really don't have friends where I live. You know, all my friends are way off.
okay, all right, all right. So let me ask. So let me ask this. I'm just trying to put this in perspective here. So let's say all of us who are in this room right now all got together. Okay, we all got together for whatever party, drinks, whatever, and we asked you to do something, and you didn't want to do it. Would you feel comfortable telling us no?
Well, yeah, yeah. If I didn't want, yeah, if I didn't want to do it,
So going back to these other people you're talking about, if they really want you to do something or saying let's do this, let's do this, would you feel comfortable telling them no?
the other friends that I have that are way off,
No, the other people that you're talking about,
oh,
the
like my
people, yeah,
family,
yeah. Would you have a problem telling them no?
well, they don't talk to me, so why would I tell them
I
no?
mean, no, okay, but I'm just saying. I'm saying, Shelby, what I'm saying is, you said that there there are people in your family who treat you a certain way. So I'm saying, those people, would you have a problem telling them no?
Oh, about going to family functions. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, for anything, family functions, anything.
Um, no, I wouldn't have a problem telling them no.
Okay, all right.
Because it's
I'm going to
only
go to
people you
Linda.
feel comfortable with. That's why.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess that was my point. That you have, if you have a comfort level with people, then you feel, a certain way. So,
right.
Linda, is she still here? Linda, are you still here? Yes, you
Frustrated
are. So, did
because
you want to say something, Linda?
I want it. Sometimes what it comes is it comes from childhood. I had a dominating parent, and I went through the same thing where my parent, I was like the shy child, believe it or not, who actually did as they were told. And it really, right, until when I got rebelling, right, I carried it on, and they controlled me near until I got older. And then, as of course, I carried a lot of baggage with me, and the more I still do. But then I decided, because I left it behind, and now I can pop at people. People do. I just tell people. And when I don't like something, I tell them straight. So they don't, usually they either don't like me, or if they do like me, they know what they're going to get.
Okay. And Linda, I was not cutting you out and letting Caps talk.
Their cats
I
come
was
in from nowhere.
No, I
You
mean,
know, like,
I understand that, but if you notice, I did say, hold on. So
but I think sometimes it's unfair when people come in the back way. I call
no,
it the
no,
back
I
route.
know, I no,
They
I
can jump from one place to another.
No,
You know,
I understand what you're saying, but sometimes, just like when I asked Moshir something that I skipped a couple of people, I went back to you and I said, "Well, Linda, what do you think?" Because I wanted you to respond. So, Linda, don't think that I'm ignoring you. I am not. When people interrupt, I do try to come back and I try to say, hey, don't interrupt, whatever. So I'm not
because I have a
trying
lot
to.
of emotional input. I could, because the things I've gone through, I have got more emotional input than people think onto how people feel and why people do certain things.
Okay, but
And
I just want you
you
to know
know,
that here that is not what I'm doing, and I was not trying to purposely cut you out or
no, I know
anything.
you're not, but
Okay, okay,
sometimes I don't know quite why it's so, because sometimes you want to say something. I'm not saying you want to interrupt. I'm not saying that at all. But I know what Caps is saying when he says he hears something and he wants to say something at that time, and then it's carried on to some. And I'm a bit like that. When I hear something I don't agree with or I want to sort of put right, I want to join in. I want to say, not because I want to control the situation,
no,
but
Linda,
I just want to put my part in and try and help people sometimes,
no,
just as Caps was trying to do.
no, I understand that, but when you have a panel and you have, three or more people on, you do have to, me as a host, I try to do my best trying to monitor and making sure that everyone, has an opportunity. But I'm sorry, again, I'm not trying to make
No, I
anyone
know
feel
that.
any type
I
of way.
just
Okay,
think that I think
okay,
sometimes it's. I know what you do. You do it like question time.
uh-huh,
We have
okay.
question time in England, and they go around about 4, and they have the chairman, and they go around asking them all questions, and they all have a say. Sometimes then they'll go back to the person. So you're
Well,
doing
actually,
exactly
well,
the
actually,
same.
Linda, I am going to tell you, if you're ever part of any of my shows that I do on video,
I
I
know you
have
do.
another. No, no,
I've
hold on, no,
been
hold
on
on.
one or
I'm
two of the
saying,
shows.
this is a completely different show. I have another show that I just started where I do completely video. And, if you ever, I'll tell you what some of the topics are. If you're ever wanting to join in, those are more where people can jump in, because then we can see each other and we can see, how you can see when somebody wants to say
Yeah, no,
something.
you can
Yeah.
interpret,
So,
because
so that,
the
so that's a
problem
lot.
is when
So that's a
people
lot
talk, there'll
easier
be
to do.
gaps
Yes. So,
in between.
okay.
You see, when you
Okay.
talk, a lot of people don't read the gaps. So a lot of people, unless they're very strong-minded or have got a loud voice, can basically go,
Okay.
can get in there first. But
Okay.
if you're
Well,
good, you should be able
just,
to talk to people and know when to stop and when to basically join in.
okay. All
When
right.
you give them
Well,
a break, basically.
and that's why for my video show, that is a completely different format. But Caps is, he did send you love, and he did say that he was sorry. So, did
All
you want to
right.
add?
I sometimes don't look at
Okay.
the
Okay.
texts when
All
I'm
right.
talking. I don't. So I'll have a look at the end.
Okay. All right. Well, did you want to say anything else before I move on to Caps?
No, that's it now. I've finished.
Okay.
Finished my piece.
All right, Linda.
I'm
All
standing
right.
on my pulpit, shouting down from the heavens.
Okay, if you can mute yourself, and then I'm going to go on to
Yeah.
Caps. So Caps,
Yeah. Okay.
did you want to add anything else before we wind this up?
You know what? Nice to see you on your show. Have a good show.
All right, everyone. So that was let me go back to Moshe. Moshe, did you want to say anything else before we wind this up?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Well, you've been very patient, like you said. You've just been sitting here, just listening to us talk. So,
Because I'm just listening. I have nothing to add to what are you saying. So if I have something, I will speak up.
okay, all right. But I still want to give you the opportunity. So, okay. Miss Shelby, you want to add anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And Linda, one more time. You want to add anything else?
No, I've finished now.
All right. And
That's
Caps,
it, the end.
okay. Caps, last chance. You want to add anything else?
Yeah, well, this is another Solid Blue Sister podcast brought to you in part by Solid. If you don't like it, you can kiss everyone's ass. Part purchasing this cast, you have already done that. Anyway, goodbye. Cheerio. God bless.
All
Good
right,
night. See you
Caps.
tomorrow.
Bye, Kat.
All right. See
All
you
right,
soon.
everyone.
Have a good one. Look after.
You too. All right, everyone. So that is the show for today. Thank you all for jumping on. For Moshe, Linda, Caps, Shy Lady, Crazy Lady. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you all for jumping on. And DMAC, Power Girl. Thank you all for just sitting back and listening. Juju. Who else was here? Minnesota, Frankie, all of you. Thank you so much for popping on and joining. And everyone else who is listening on the live stream. Thank you so much. So until tomorrow, enjoy your day or evening wherever you are in the world. Go where the wind takes you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So I am going to play the swing music because I had a couple of people who said that they like this. I don't know if they're here, but you all liked the swing music last time, so I'm going to go out with this. Oh, and everyone, for last Thursday, I enjoyed it so much. I am going to publish a show. I'm going to just publish it. If Podbean tells me no, I'll just have to take it down. But I enjoyed that show so much. And DJ Carmen Camille said thank you. And D-Mac, I'm glad that you were able to join. I'm glad you're able to join because I see you and Shy Lady. Y'all do all the songs.
For a brand new day. Birds singing, I was swinging, awake, I was on my way. Then a little voice inside said, baby, are you alright? And now I'm damned if I just might make it till the nighttime. I got a feeling that I might die. Like I'm crazy, crazy all inside. Where to go, who to see, how to be? Is it crazy if I just be me? Oh, I got a feeling that I might die tonight. Unsure of what I'm doing. No guidance, always the fooling. Lost all my confidence from stupid incidents. Then a little voice inside said, baby, you'll be alright. But I'm still down if I just might make it to the nighttime. And maybe with age it'll get so much easier. Maybe with time I'll find that. Maybe with time I'll find my wings. From the ashes rise and sing. Crazy all inside. Where to go, who to see, how to be? Is it crazy if it's up to me? Oh, I got a feeling I'll be alright.
And that's it, guys.
I
Thank you
love
so
it.
much,
I
and
love
I
your
hope
music. Oh, wow.
I'm trying to go out with a different song every
I
day.
love it.
So yeah. So
Okay,
okay,
solid. It's gonna just say enough love to you, and you got a brilliant show, man. And I'm glad to get you and see you sometimes. So,
All right, Caps. I will talk to you soon. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.